Hi, I'm Amy, a computer toucher / pervert.
And I'm Beth, a word enjoyer.
And this is Shitpost Mortem.
A podcast where we overthink stupid ideas.
Post-mortems for shitposts, if you will.
Also, we might trick you into learning about cheese or something. Shitpost Mortem.
Yeah, okay, well, speaking of cheese, you want to read our first idea?
Frottage cheese.
Okay, and what did you mean by that?
Okay, well, so frotting is a thing.
Yes, can you explain what it is?
Okay.
For those who don't know.
It's like there's two dicks, and you make the tips kiss, or like,
I see.
Touch against each other repeatedly.
I see.
Yeah.
And people enjoy doing this?
That's what I've been informed by the internet,
okay.
at least.
I
Yeah.
see.
So what do I mean by cheese? I don't know.
Yes.
Maybe it's just dick cheese. I don't know.
So when you say dick cheese, we're talking smegma?
Yeah. I mean, is there another meaning of dick cheese?
Well, I don't know. I'm just checking.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
If you're not familiar with smegma,
that's the stuff that builds up under the foreskin or like under the head or whatever.
And people call it dick cheese because it does have this sort of cheesiness to it. Not necessarily in taste. I couldn't say, but I
don't want to
smell.
know, but yeah, in smell, yes.
Sort of like a white.
Yeah, white or even yellowish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, this has been the penis educational zone.
Wow. Yeah,
Getting educated.
my favorite's Greek letter smegma.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Where does that go in the alphabet?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Next idea is chair that's also a clothing rack, which I believe after I said this, apparently some YouTuber did this already.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, the classic thing is, of course, you have a chair, you put clothes on it. It's just a chair that wasn't necessarily intended to have clothes on it. Nevertheless, chairs, they're great for putting clothes on.
For when you don't want to put chairs, for when you don't want to put clothes on the floor, but you don't want to put them like on a hanger in the closet because like you did wear them once.
Well, what if you wore them a little bit though?
Yeah.
But
they're not like dirty yet.
Yeah,
either.
but they're not like dirty. Yeah. All right. So yeah, the idea, of course, is just a chair that's meant for putting clothes on, right?
Yeah. So does it have stuff sticking off the back or something?
Yeah, I think there's different ways you could go with this. I do think stuff sticking off of it is maybe the most obvious way to go. I do think there's a little bit of an issue, which is if you walk into it.
Yeah.
I do feel like that's maybe a risk. You're like, oof, ouch, I walked into the chair that's a clothing rack. That being said, you never know.
Well, okay, maybe if it's high up enough, maybe it would be less of an issue.
Yeah, that's true. I might try to find that video real quick. Tub. Yeah, there it is. Oh, it's got like a big arc.
Oh, okay. So this is Simone. Her last name is spelled Giertz. If I say it how you're supposed to say it, it's not going to be helpful for most people on how to spell it.
How are you supposed to say it?
It's like, yes.
Yeah.
It's Swedish.
Right.
There and there's like a T Z at the end that's getting made retroflex by the R.
Wait, hang on.
The orthography.
Best linguistics corner. Oh
okay, yeah, not a planned one, but
a surprise visit to Beth's linguistics.
And then
corner.
so the other thing, so the GI. So basically, in Swedish, there's some other ways of spelling it too, but there's this whole thing where basically G before front vowels turns into sort of a y sound, and then there's a weirder sound sometimes referred to as the SJ sound. That's like weird enough that IPA has a special dedicated symbol for writing that. It's kind of like a co-articulated sh and ch at the same time or something like that. But the symbol in IPA is like long S combined with an H or something like that.
Here's a question for you. You were saying retroflex earlier. Can you say what that means?
Oh, sure. Yeah, so basically retroflexes are a class of sounds. There's a number of other classes of sounds, but basically they use the tongue against the roof of the mouth. So the tongue is the articulator, that's the sort of moving part, and then it's the thing it's against is used to say the police articulation. So
articulator.
I hardly know where.
Yeah.
Yeah. But specifically, retroflex sounds are defined by the tip of the tongue sort of going back over itself.
Yeah.
Retro basically means back.
Yeah.
and flex. So it's like bent backwards, retroflex.
Bending over backwards.
So let me try to produce some retroflexes for you. Da, da, da. So it's kind of like a D sound.
Yeah, but not quite.
But it does sound a little different. One place retroflexes might be familiar to people is some sort of varieties of English from like the Indian subcontinent will end up featuring some retroflex sounds because a lot of languages of India have a class of retroflexes.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're basically, so D, like an English D sound, that's alveolar. That's because it's against the alveolar ridge, which is sort of this raised thing of gums behind your upper teeth.
Yeah, if you move your tongue around, you should be able to feel that.
Yeah, ta, da. So, and then yeah, there's also dentals, like a dental stop. Pa, that's your tongue, the tip of your tongue against your upper teeth.
A dental stop is when I take a little mouthwash break.
So true. Da, 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 da. I think it's one place people might know dentals is a lot of Irish English speakers, instead of saying like a th or a the sound, will say a dental stop instead. Like they'll say, instead of 3, they'll say 3.
Yeah. Right, and you might, like, I might just think that they're saying tree, but
it is a different sound
not
than how they say
quite.
tree. They do say it differently than how they say tree.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's been Beth's Linguistics Corner, the fan favorite, beloved segment.
I mean, it's not like we have that many segments.
That's true. We're not really a segment-based show.
Well, sometimes we have to fake ads, I guess.
That's true.
I guess that's a segment.
That can be a segment. All right. You want to read this next one, Beth? I believe this is yours.
Okay. Yeah, so this one might require a little bit of explaining. So generally, screws of the type that, you use to assemble furniture or attach stuff anchor stuff in drywall or etc. or whatever, most screws they screw in where the standard is that if you are turning the screwdriver clockwise, you are tightening the screw, you're making the screw go deeper into the material. So that's sort of the way the thread runs around the screw.
Yep.
So my idea to just really be obnoxious and maybe fuck with people, go to basically somehow get manufactured screws with the opposite handedness, the opposite chirality. That's from a Greek word that means hand.
It means it's like spiraling the other way.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, in chemistry, you can have 2 versions of a chemical that are opposite chirality that are basically spiraling the opposite way or something like that, where basically it's an opposite chirality if there's no way you can translate or rotate it that makes it the same. You'd have to like mirror it, which with a 3D object you can't. Like,
no offense, but we're flipping you across the y-axis.
Oh God, Amy, it's going to make limonene taste like orange flavor.
Well, I think you would just die.
Okay, yeah, but probably that's
the interesting thing about chiral molecules is there's some where one version of them is necessary or good for you or whatever, and then where the opposite version will just like kill you. So that's interesting.
I think thalidomide's a really infamous one.
Yeah. Fuck you up.
Yeah, but yeah.
If you're like, where do I know that from? It's from We Didn't Stop the Fire by Billy Joel.
Well,
among other things.
There's other ways that someone could know that. But yeah, what I was referencing is there's a specific chemical where one-handedness tastes like lemon and the opposite-handedness tastes like orange.
There's something very pleasing about that.
That's fun, right?
Honest. Speaking of citrus flavors, my personal opinion, grapefruit is peak.
I do love grapefruit.
Grapefruit's so good.
It's true.
I will essentially like literally anything that's grapefruit flavored.
We love a Mexican squirt. That's a soda. It's not weird.
Oh yeah, I was thinking earlier. Okay, so my spouse has been drinking a lot of like Radlers. That's Radler. Which is basically like a beer with grapefruit, which is of course I like, because again, I basically will like anything that has grapefruit or is just like grapefruit flavored. But I always think about, there's this one time I was at a bar and I was kind of like, I was trying to order one. The guy wasn't understanding me. I think it's because I was kind of going like Radler. I was kind of saying it too correctly.
Too German.
And which I wasn't doing on purpose, but that's just kind of how it ended up. And then I was like, okay, I want the 2 pitchers, because the company that made the drink was called 2 pitchers, and the guy was like, we don't have pitchers. I was like, no. Anyway, that's the most difficult time I've ever had trying to order something. We eventually figured it out.
Yeah.
The fact that there was like one misunderstanding wouldn't stand out, but
the back-to-back ones,
they were just stacked. to be honest. Yeah. Anyway, Beth, I know you're the grapefruit enjoyer.
It's true. Oh yeah, we've been getting some Pocari Sweat lately. I didn't actually realize it was grapefruit flavor, to be honest with you.
Yeah, if you're not familiar, that's a Japanese sports beverage, more or less.
Yeah, it's like an electrolyte beverage or a sports beverage. It's sweat is in there, I guess, to imply that you have it after sweating. To be honest, I think to English speakers, has sweat in the name of a drink is a little off-putting.
Yeah.
But it seems like in Japan that people have a different association where they just associate the word
Sports.
sweat with sports or something.
Sports.
They're not maybe
Sports.
thinking about the
Sports.
literal salty liquid coming
Well,
out
yeah,
of your
it's because
pores.
as an English speaker, if you hear a drink called sweat, you're like, oh my god, it's sweat.
You're drinking
Why are we
sweat, that's
drinking
weird.
Sweat? I mean, would sweat be a good electrolyte beverage? I actually am not sure.
My concern is if it's someone else's sweat that there might be random bacteria.
Well,
in
okay,
it or something.
ignoring the bacteria, because yes, that's definitely like the reason sweat smells like that is because the bacteria, right?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure. But like, let's assume there's no bacteria. We're just talking the composition of sweat in terms of like the fluids, the salt, whatever. Would that be a good electrolyte beverage? I don't know.
Well, I think my hesitation is that usually an electrolyte beverage is trying to both replenish liquids and also
Right.
electrolytes.
Yeah.
You know, including salt, but there's other ones you
Yeah,
can put
there
in there,
are other
obviously.
ones.
As far as I know, human sweat is mostly just,
Salt.
salt.
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah.
it's like the minimum amount of liquid to carry that salt out.
Right, so you're saying
maybe?
it's not, there's not enough fluid.
Maybe, I'm not
Maybe.
sure. I mean, well, I guess sweat is to... Actually, why is sweat salty? Like, I know sweat is to cool you off.
Yeah. Why is
it salty, though?
I don't know. We'll have to look.
What's the
into this.
purpose
We'll
of the
have to
saltiness?
investigate.
Like, because if you could just sweat and it wasn't salty, that seems like it would still cool you off, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Much to consider.
I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
All right, you want to read off this next one?
Okay, so this is a stupid idea I had. A binary ruler where, okay, it marks units starting from like, a specific point near the end of the ruler.
Yeah.
There's a mark 1 inches away from that, and then a mark 2 inches, and then a mark 4 inches, and then a mark 8 inches. And
Yeah.
maybe that's it, or maybe you go to 16. But yeah, I think it's funny because it only lets you measure certain specific numbers. Like,
Right.
basically, you can kind of put stuff together in a sense, but it's overlapping, so it's a little awkward. But like, for example, you can measure.
You're doing some quick math.
You can measure 3. Basically, you can measure anything that's a power of 2 minus another power of 2. So you can measure 3 inches. But you can't measure 5 inches, but you can measure 6 or 7. Because 8 minus 2 is 6
Right.
and 8 minus 1 is 7. And it kind of proceeds like that, except it gets sparser. The ones you can measure get sparser and sparser as it gets longer, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's literally no good reason to do this. I will say this scale, though, being kind of multiplicative like this is actually kind of like slide rules, I think,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Our grandpa had a slide rule.
He sure did. He was an engineer back in the day. Like,
Was he a nerd? I would venture to say yes.
yeah.
All right. You could actually probably 3D print this ruler idea.
Oh, I know. I did consider it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I have other rulers that,
Yeah.
are
better,
normal.
that work good.
Yeah.
Oh, you have calipers.
I do have calipers.
For
it's true.
normal reasons, okay. She's not doing like phrenology.
I don't know that you need to specify that. That sounds weirder now that you specified it.
Okay. That does, yeah, I get so.
I feel like most people would not have. I feel like most people aren't going to leap directly from hearing the word calipers to
Yeah,
going,
I mean, I guess
phrenology.
it depends on the person, but that's fair.
I mean, it's mostly for measuring stuff to figure out how to size 3D
Yeah.
prints, frankly.
She's kind of she's been printing. Oh, actually, speaking of printing, we now have a little acoustic foam barrier in between us. Beth 3D printed basically a stand, a holder for those.
It's in a bunch of parts super glued together because my printer bed, or the print volume, is only 256 by 256 by 256 millimeters. It's a cube. And like we basically needed something that was like, I don't know, 4 feet tall or something.
Yeah. So
And-
you can't. That's believe it or not, that's more than 256
Yeah, so
millimeters.
a foot is quite close to 300
Oh
millimeters.
wait,
actually.
you got to talk about metric inches.
Oh yeah. So
That's so
okay, so
funny.
something I learned is that apparently
Because you made a joke first.
yeah,
Right?
I was making jokes about like I realized that a foot is pretty close to 300 millimeters.
Yeah.
It's closer to 305, but 300 is obviously a nicer number, and that's still
Yeah.
if you do if
Yeah,
you look
yeah.
at the percentages, it's like
It's pretty
98%
close.
of the
It's
value or
fine.
something. It's pretty close.
Don't worry about it.
So I was saying that, and also I was like, okay, I guess a metric inch could be 2.5 centimeters or 25 millimeters
Mm-hmm.
because it's like the actual number is like 2.54
Right.
centimeters in an inch or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think, but it's pretty
Pretty
close.
close.
But yeah, it turns out
That's
that
real.
both of these things in separate contexts are just real already.
Yeah, people already did it.
So basically, the British, I think, because the British English had a lot of sort of certain terms ingrained in it, like mile and pint,
Yeah.
and foot and stone.
Yep.
Which
I still don't know how much a fucking
you said as a
stone
British
is,
person
okay?
would be like, oh yes, 8 stone, and I'm like, I don't.
Is that good
what
or
does that
bad?
mean?
I don't know
know
if
how
that's good or
how much is that. I don't know what that is.
We just don't know. I'm sure I've looked at the conversion, but it does not fucking remain in my head, I'll tell you.
Okay, I'm not 100% sure. A stone might be 16 pounds.
Okay.
I'm not gonna swear to it, but it's some multiple of pounds. I think
Yeah.
it's some whole number
Okay,
of
yeah,
pounds
yeah, yeah.
in. Oh,
14.
14?
14's crazy,
Why is
what?
it 14? Oh, that's
I
way
hate
worse
it.
than I thought. Okay, well,
14.
okay. Well, I was close enough that I would have gotten about
14.
Okay, well, I was in the ballpark, but okay, I was in the
What the
ballpark,
fuck?
but I think my brain rounded it to a more sensible number or something.
14's crazy.
Why? Okay, why not 12?
What the
Why not
fuck?
16?
Why is it 14?
Why not 15? Why 14? Why is it 7 times 2? What the fuck
Like,
is wrong with you?
what's wrong?
Why would you do that?
I'm determined. I'm going to blame the British. Okay, I haven't looked into it. I'm going to blame them. Okay.
Yeah.
The British parentheses derogatory. Whenever I say the British, you can just pretend I said the British parentheses derogatory. Okay.
Okay, so, but yeah, so it turns out.
Sorry, it's going to drive me insane.
All right.
Okay, I won't lie. There are some cases where people are like, "Oh, the metric system is better." Where I'm like, "Eh," but with shit like this, it's like, okay, yes, obviously, 40. This type of shit's crazy. But the thing is, British people will make fun of Americans for using the imperial system. But hey, at least we weren't saying we're weight in fucking stone. I've never once seen an American do that. Okay, it's the British people doing that.
I've
shit.
only ever seen British people do that.
Yeah, that we are not. We are not.
I don't know.
doing
Maybe you
that.
could see an Irish person do it or something, but I've definitely
Yeah,
never seen
it's
like an
definitely-
American,
No,
or
Americans,
like a Canadian. do it.
Americans are not doing that. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Right, Amy. I never explained metric feet and metric
Oh
inches.
yeah, right. Go ahead.
Okay, so it turns out there is sort of informally in the UK a metric foot, which is 300 millimeters or 30 centimeters. And then also it turns out in the Soviet Union, when basically reproducing American computer parts from
right.
blueprints, because the American blueprints were using inches, they ended up, I guess, just acting like an inch on the blueprints meant 25 millimeters.
Which is close.
Which is close enough that it would, if you were eyeballing it, it would look about right, probably. But it was enough that apparently if you get what's theoretically the same part, but Soviet made versus American, it won't like fit.
To be honest, that's really funny. Like, as just kind of, pranked.
Yeah.
Pranked.
Pranked.
It's kind of, the measure, we actually use a slightly different measurement system. Pranked.
Yeah. I think if you ever want to look into it, there's like a disturbing number of different things called ounces that are all different. It's kind of horrible.
Well, I mean, I already know that there's 2 ounces that the imperial system uses, and I constantly forget how they convert to other units. I won't lie.
Oh, you mean like dry versus fluid?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they're different.
Yeah.
They're like, there's so many fluid ounces in a cup versus so many dry ounces in a pound or whatever. But I constantly forget what the conversion.
Yeah, I think there's also troy ounces.
Is that
Which
used
are
for,
used
like gold? And
It's
stuff?
used for like precious metals, I think.
Yeah.
Or like jewelry components, that kind of thing.
Oh God, there's.
Okay, an imperial fluid ounce is
Wait, that's
1/20th
different?
of a pint.
Oh, no.
But a U.S. customary fluid ounce is 1/16th of a pint, I think it said.
Okay.
Yeah.
1/8 of a cup. Okay.
Yeah.
What about normal ounces?
It's 16 in a pound,
It's
I'm pretty
16.
sure.
Okay. Yeah. That I always get mixed up about which one is which. Okay, so it's 8 and 16. Hey, at least it's not 14. Okay, I'm not saying it's great, but at least it's not fucking 14.
Powers of 2 aren't that bad.
I can accept powers of 2 a little bit more as a computer sicko.
As far as the U.S. customary system goes, I think sort of cups, like pints, quarts,
Isn't that
gallons. It's
bad?
not that bad. It's all divided
The number
by or
of feet
multiplied
in
by
a
2.
mile is horrible.
Yeah, that fucking
Why is
sucks.
it
5,280.
What the fuck is
What
that?
is that? Is that just? Did you choose that randomly?
I like don't know how they got there, but I don't like it. Okay, can I go on to the next idea?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So as everyone knows, this is a classic experience that I think many people have gone through. Sometimes you're in the shower, you're washing off, taking your time, and then you just slip and an entire shampoo bottle goes up your ass.
And you have to go to the ER.
And then you have to go to the ER. This happens surprisingly often, actually.
Genuinely, if you talk to ER people,
It actually happens.
people will say that's what happened anyway.
Yeah, I hate when I slip in the shower and the entire bottle goes up my ass. That's
I know.
so inconvenient, man.
Yeah, and it's
Particularly emergency
this stuff
room.
is always happening to men who don't own any sex toys.
Yeah, for some reason. We're not sure why that is.
It's impossible to say.
Okay, but anyway, the idea is shampoo bottles with a flared base.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar, a flared base on a sex toy, or let's just say a shampoo bottle, will make it so it can't get stuck up your ass.
That's right. Because if you have
Yeah.
something that's just a cylinder,
Yeah.
it can.
And it turns out if something is all the way up your ass, there's no part of it sticking out. Sometimes
It's hard to get out.
it's hard to get out.
And it can be a problem.
And it's not just shampoo bottles. There are so many ER visits that are like,
yeah.
someone put something weird up their ass and can't get it. Like, it's a really common problem.
One of the worst ones I saw is they put like a glass jar.
No! Why would you? God! No!
Yeah.
Well, I hope your ass muscles aren't that strong. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into more detail about what the
Yeah,
incident
okay,
that occurred after that.
you know
but
what? Yeah,
It was
okay.
not, it's pretty dire.
Now, obviously, instead of shampoo bottles with a flip base, my God, just buy sex toys.
Please buy a sex
Just
toy.
buy sex toys.
Please
I
put something
beg
in your ass that was made to be put in your
I
an
beg
ass.
of you. I think
it's gonna go better.
Buy sex toys on the internet.
That's true. Yeah.
Not to say you should be totally indiscriminate in what you buy. You should do.
I mean,
at
there's
least a
definitely
little
sex
research.
toys on the internet you can buy that are unsafe in
Yeah.
other ways. I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got options. And I will say, I have another justification for shampoo bottle with a flared base. Sometimes the shampoo bottle like tips over. Big base, maybe it won't tip over.
True.
On the other hand, I feel like showers often have limited
Real estate.
real estate. Wait. Shampoo bottle with a suction cup on the bottom.
Ah! Wait. Okay. Wait.
That might be something.
That might be
I
something,
think, like or like body wash that has a suction cup on the bottle and you just fucking stick it on the side of your shirt. That's actually
That might be a good idea,
that
actually.
might actually be a good idea. I think that's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever seen it, but it's like you could, right?
I
think
I
so.
don't. There's not a
Like
super
maybe they'd be
obvious
too
problem,
heavy,
except
but
maybe they'd be too
the
heavy.
weight's the main concern. It's like, is the suction cup strong enough? But like,
Yeah.
on a basic, for sure. I mean, if the suction cup is on the bottom and you're putting it on like a horizontal surface, the weight's not really a big concern.
Yeah.
But if it's on like the side of the bottom, you're sticking it to the shower wall, which is kind of maybe more useful.
But like the torque sort of might be an issue.
Yeah, maybe it's too. We could
Maybe you don't.
actually maybe experiment with this. I'm pretty
You don't-
sure we have standalone suction cups.
Maybe
somewhere.
maybe the best way to sort of minimize torque is to have it be closer to a sphere, like the overall bottle shape.
Yeah, or well, you could also just have like two suction cups. Come to think of it,
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
or something. You know, like you do have
okay.
options.
Right.
Though a sphere could be kind of cute, honestly.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's sort of like a cylinder,
Yeah.
like a sideways cylinder.
I don't know.
I-
I think I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Anyway, let's move on for now.
Anyway, would you like to listen to an ad? A wonderful advertisement?
Well, if not too fucking bad.
Yeah.
Got a wife? We'll tell her to fuck off. Don't got a wife? We'll find you one and tell her to go to hell. Don't like what we're selling? Well, you can kiss my ass.
Okay, you want to read this next idea? This one's kind of horrible. I will warn you.
All right, so I was also posting about this one on
Mm-hmm.
my Blue Sky, Beth posting, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
But my idea was for a Cummingbird. So you know how hummingbirds
Mm-hmm.
basically go, they land on a flower, they have like skinny beaks and long, thin, specialized tongues to like basically get some
Snort.
nectar and
Snort that
they all
nectar.
and pollinate the flower and all
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
So the idea is a bird that comes and lands on like an erect
It comes?
penis. and then it like sticks its tongue into your urethra and slurps up some.
It's
some
so
cum.
bad. I don't like it.
I thought of the pun first, and then I was like, okay,
What
this
could it
whole
be?
idea, the
Yeah.
Cummingbird, and then I was like, oh no, it kind of makes sense because like flowers essentially are plant genitals, you know. Mm-hmm. And then I had a friend who was like, imagine future humanity where this is how the only way they reproduce. They're getting pollinated.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, it does raise some. The idea raises some questions, which is like, are people just outside with their dicks out,
I guess that's what
sitting there a
I mean,
lot?
yeah, Amy. That's people used to do that a lot in the Garden of Eden? Question mark? No, I don't know.
They just didn't have anything better to do, I guess.
Maybe
back
they
in the day.
didn't. They didn't know about clothes yet. They
that's
hadn't eaten
true.
the apple that makes you know about clothes. or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's true. That's true.
All they knew about is maybe wear leaf on crotch.
Oh
maybe.
yeah, just one little fig leaf. On
Yeah,
the
just
crotch.
one
Should we
leaf.
bring that back? I think we should bring that back. Like going to the Met Gala, just wearing one little fig leaf. Someone would fucking do that.
Someone would fucking
that
do
might
that.
be.
That's actually
like-
pretty. That feels plausible.
I
yeah.
feel, especially depending on the theme or whatever. I feel like someone would do that.
Yeah.
You have Beth. Do you have knowledge of good and evil? Just curious.
Good and evil. Is that a video game or something?
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't worry about it. All right. This next idea. So this was actually inspired earlier today. We were talking about how buses, centralized systems, know where buses are. The answer, as far as I can tell, is the buses have GPS. They'll talk via satellite or like mobile phone networks to dispatch and tell dispatch where they are. And then the dispatch, there's like a standardized format that transit agencies will put out about the current status and location of their buses. And then different apps can use that data. So that's actually kind of cool. But I was talking about this, and a friend was like, they should have it so you can track street sweepers. And I'll mention, that bus thing is called GTFS. That's General Transit Feed Specification, if you want to look it up. And then it was like, wait, why do you want to track street sweepers? And the answer was basically like, I want to know if it's coming or if it's already gone by. Because you do not want to park in front of it if it's coming. But if it's already gone by, maybe it's fine. It's probably fine.
Oh, so this is like there's posted hours. It's like, don't park here, sweet sweeper,
Yeah.
during this hour. But like, if it's already come by, it
It's-
probably doesn't really
they're
matter if you
probably
park
not.
there.
Yeah, it's probably fine.
Okay, I see.
And I'm pretty sure, I don't know for a fact, I've gotten tickets, like parking tickets for getting to move my car for street sweeping. My guess is there's some cop who like goes along
In front of the
street
street
sweeper
Yeah,
ticketing people.
yeah,
I don't know if that's actually what they do.
yeah.
but that's kind of my guess.
The sweet streeper.
The sweet streeper, yeah, that's true. Okay, anyway, the idea, that I haven't gotten to the actual idea yet. The idea is like, okay, well, I don't know if the city is going to be like, yes, we are putting bus-style trackers on our street sweepers. But the idea is you put little trackers just in the street and see when they get swept up.
Actually, does the city own the the street sweepers?
I don't
or are they
know,
like
actually.
contracted out from
They
a
might
private
be.
company?
They might be contracted.
I don't actually know.
I actually don't know. If anyone knows, I would actually be interested in learning about
Well,
that.
it probably varies by city.
It probably
though.
does. Yeah, probably some of them. It's probably a mix, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the idea is like you can imagine. Let's say you have like a little GPS tracker, which that's obviously a thing you can just buy, and you sort of scatter them about in the streets.
Okay, I sure hope these are cheap
Yeah, well, they would have to
Ones.
be. They would have to be
because they
cheap,
might just
yes.
get destroyed by getting run over or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
It seems
well,
possible.
no, that's totally fair. And you can see when they get fucking swept up.
Yeah.
Um.
And then what? You watch
Well-
them sit in a landfill forever after.
Well,
or-
yeah, it's not ideal, I guess. But at the time they're getting swept up, you can be like, oh, the street sweeper's there.
Yeah.
They wouldn't. I guess they wouldn't technically have to have GPS. It just seems maybe
Okay.
simpler.
I think I maybe have a more practical.
Yeah.
way.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Have one of those things where basically it like reflects radio waves, but it's not an actual. It doesn't need actual electronics. It's not. It's not transmitting.
Yeah.
Have something where basically you could have some way to detect it from stuff bouncing off of it,
Yeah.
and try to track stuff that way. Maybe.
Yeah. What are you think? Where are you putting the reflectors?
Oh, same as before.
Oh, okay. I see. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
I mean,
Yeah,
it might not work, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's go into the next idea. So, as I'm sure you've noticed, there's a lot of social media sites, chat apps, etc., where all the profile pics are circles. That's just kind of how it is nowadays.
people
Circle
love
City.
circles and squircles.
Oh yes, I will say something I liked about co-host is you could actually choose. You could have a circle if you wanted, but guess what? You could have a squircle. If you're not familiar with a squircle,
It's a daily word game. No, I'm kidding.
God, there might be one called that. Maybe not a word game.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that does give me an idea for a daily, but it might be stupid.
Yeah, what's your idea?
It literally shows you a squircle, which we haven't said what it is, but it's basically just like a rounded square. It's
Or
kind of
a square with rounded corners.
Yeah. So it shows you a squircle, and you have to say how rounded it is on like a scale.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
That's
I don't know if there's enough there.
Yeah, said it's maybe not a good idea. Also, something I will mention that is just kind of interesting. Sorry, we're gonna go nerd mode for a section here.
Wait, we were already doing that?
No, what? No. Okay, so if you have an equation like x squared plus y squared equals 1, that's like the unit circle, right?
Yeah.
So no, that's a circle. If you increase the powers, so let's say you change 2 to 3, 3 to 4, whatever. I will note you do need an absolute value for if you're using odd powers. But the shape that gets graphed gets closer and closer to a square.
Yeah, just to be specific, Amy meant like it becomes something. The equation becomes something like x to the fourth plus y to the fourth equals 1.
That's right.
I feel like, yeah.
Yeah. It's good to be specific. So that's some fun math for you. And I was talking to Beth about this the other week. If you think about it, as the power increases towards infinity, whatever of x and y is larger is basically going to dominate, right?
Yeah.
If there's some gigantic power,
yeah,
whatever is bigger.
So if you
than it.
imagine basically the diagonal lines of like x equals y, sort of, those are where the corners are going to end up being.
Yeah,
because
that's right.
That's where it changes over which one is dominating.
Right.
When x
and
is larger than y, or
you can
vice
think
versa.
of it as basically taking like a max of the absolute value of x and y.
Yeah.
Equals 1. So,
Yeah.
and then that's a square.
Yeah.
So that's some fun math for you. All right, no more nerd shit.
I'm not so sure.
We won't talk about any other nerd shit at all.
Okay, but this next idea is gonna very naturally introduce polar coordinates, maybe.
Right. Right. That's true. Right. Anyway, sorry. Going back to the actual idea. So the idea is all these apps, websites, whatever, that are storing profile pics, they're storing them as rectangles, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what all image formats that I know of are rectangles. There could be some exception, I guess.
But really, this is wasteful because they're only showing them as circles. There's like these corners that just never get shown. So the idea is a special image format for profile pics that can only do circles. It can't do rectangles. It's just for circles, and you save a little space.
Yeah. It feels like an airline being like, we're taking one olive out of the salads to save money.
Yeah, you're saying I'm a business genius?
That's right.
That was the idea, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll take all the money that was saved and give it to myself.
Whoa. Now you're talking
wait.
like an executive.
We're cutting corners.
Oh my God,
We're
you're literally cutting corners.
I didn't realize it until now, but what I'm proposing is
cutting corners.
Actually just cutting corners.
Yeah, but anyway, so a relatively natural way to do this actually is with polar coordinates.
Yeah.
Because
you want to talk about what those are just a little bit.
So basically it's kind of like how you say where you are on Earth in a sense, where there's latitude and longitude.
Yeah. I'm not telling you that. No, I'm kidding.
So basically, if you imagine, like, let's say a pole, let's say the North Pole or something.
I'm imagining it. It's very cool.
Like seen from above, it's in the middle of a circle.
Sure is.
So basically, that you have if for any point on the circle, like you have an angle where if you assume, like, let's say there's a line that you say is like the prime meridian or something that you say is like the zero line.
Right.
And then you have an angle compared to that.
Right, you can kind of go around in a circle with different angles.
And then when you get back to 360, you're back. It's the same as 0. So that's one of the coordinates, basically. And then the other coordinate is just how far from the pole are you?
Yeah.
So like where on that's
kind of just
radial
the
line are you?
Along the line.
How far out on the line are you?
And that's polar coordinates.
Yeah, it's
like
kind of like Cartesian XY coordinates, but it's like wrapped around a
you have
centered
an
pole,
angle
you could say.
And a distance.
Yeah, instead of 2 distances, you have an angle and a distance.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, you're learning about math. Haha.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think a substantial portion of our listeners already do all this. But if you didn't, there's some math for you. Right. And anyway, so Beth was just saying, you could maybe try to use polar coordinates for the circular images. I might actually think more about how you would do it. It's kind of a funny, it's a stupid idea, but
something I did learn
it's a little interesting.
Looking into this is that like photo shop and some Photoshop clones looking at you, Photopia, which, by the way, I thought was called Photopea.
Because it's spelled exactly
it's
like
spelled
the word
exactly
photo and
like-
then the word
Yes.
PEA, I should say.
But apparently, it's intended to be pronounced Photopia,
Yeah.
which if that's what you were going for, why did you use an E and
Yeah,
not an
it
I?
does
I don't
raise
understand.
questions.
But anyway, they both have options for converting from rectangular to polar coordinates.
right.
Or
Oh,
vice
yes.
versa.
Beth did that to a photo of Andrew Lloyd Webber, and it looked so funny.
He looked like a fucking Oblivion
We
character.
should. There's some stuff we should probably post on the podcast Blue Sky. I think that's
Yeah.
one of them. That's one of them. That's and the Cummingbird. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You can probably just
I can just repost.
it
Yeah, I
from
can like repost
my
them.
Blue Sky.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I did a
again,
drawing
that's,
too of the Cummingbird, by the way.
That's
So
bethposting.bsky.social, correct?
yeah, that's right.
All right. And I guess we can actually probably wrap it up here. But first, guess what? It's credits. Oh my god.
Oh my god, it's
Oh my
credits. I love
goodness. Can
credits.
you
Oh my
believe
god.
it? Okay.
Hosts Amy and Beth.
Editor Amy.
Linguistics consultant Beth. I do like that we credit you for that. I think
Yeah.
it's a good bit.
That's her. That's her. It's a bit? No, you're actually our linguistics.
Oh, sorry. Yes, of course.
Okay, and our intro is by Bruhisma. That's with a BRUX. Thank you for listening. I'm going to try not to hit the mic stand this time on the way out. Bye.
Bye.